Hey everybody, this is Alan Fine. I'm here with Travis Pittman, the co-founder and CEO of TourRadar. Now, TourRadar is an adventure booking platform that's another tool in your belt. In fact, we're going to show you another video this week where you can actually see how it's being used and how there's some things that are like, oh wow, that's something I might need. But anyway, so we're here in Vienna, which is where their home office is, and Travis and I are going to talk about his presentation the other day, and this is Insider Travel Report. Travis, thank you for talking to us.
Great to be here, and thanks for joining us here in Vienna. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing I want to get to, is that who's actually attending the conference, and how many countries, how many people?
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal. Way more than we absolutely expected. So 102 different countries are represented at the event. We've got thousands of travel agents joining us online from North America, and here we've got a ton of actual tour operators, DMOs, technology partners. So yeah, it's an all-round conference, and some really great interaction so far. Yeah.
And you're still, okay, an adventure booking platform, but it's more. In fact, that's what I want to discuss, is the fact that, you talked about a fundamental human need.
Yes.
And TourRadar can help with that, and so can the travel advisors. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. So one thing I'm very passionate about organized adventures, so multi-day travel. When you have people being taken out of their comfort zones, you actually get to grow. So I mentioned yesterday in my talk, you might see in the slides, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's a concept, obviously, of human needs, but you need those basic things met, of accommodation, of transport, safety, those things. But to go actually to those places where you're maybe stepping outside your comfort zone and you're growing in confidence and experiencing new things for yourself, you need someone to kind of hold your hand to do that. And that's where the guides on an organized adventure really come into their own.
So explain, the guide would be the foundation so that you can achieve well-being and happiness.
Yeah, so they get the trust going and the safety, because they're the ones who are leading you around. They know the place. They know that you're staying in this hotel. And then for those activities, which, maybe you don't want to go whitewater rafting. Maybe you just want to go try some new type of food that you've never tried. That's where they can actually take you outside your comfort zone and just give you that little bit of a push you might need to take you out. And that's where we really feel it's a very kind of emotional experience, not emotional in that really la-di-da, but actually that people take something away when they get home. They get home a little bit richer as a human being after they've been on an organized adventure.
And you had said that adventure travel used to be a bucket list thing, but now it's something. It's not necessarily just that.
Exactly. I mean, we call it an adventure booking platform. We call it organized adventure, but we feel an adventure is whatever you call that. So it could be Everest if you're really, that type of person.
You really need the guide, but otherwise,
that's a bucket list type thing, But if you want to go to, let's use Tuscany as an example. Where do you find the best wineries? Where do you find the best food? And that's also an adventure. And so that's where we feel it's a range of different experiences, and it's really personalized to each person. Yeah.
I'm also bringing it back to your guide thing. I mean, someone who might say, I don't know if I can do the biking, but I really want to bike in Tuscany. And then this is a way to achieve that.
Exactly. And so you wouldn't know which route or which path to take, or can you get an e-bike if you want an e-bike? What type of e-bike should I use? So all these things they can guide you on, and that's where it's just taken out of your hands. You literally just show up.
So operators and travelers, you made a comparison. I think it's a crass one of TourRadar and Uber, but there are similarities there, and let's expand.
Yeah. So by that I mean a global platform. I think Uber, they've done they've got obviously a lot of different challenges and maybe not done some things so well, but they've done amazing payments. They've brought a whole new economy of people to actually earn money. They've simplified a lot of stuff for the traveler or the person who wants to book that. And that's where we also, take inspiration from, is around how can we as a global platform make it easier for travel agents to be paid their commission, make it easier for operators to receive their money from the customer who's paid with us and they're based in Namibia. So how do we actually just simplify a lot of those things? Messaging. How do we just make it real time? So you don't have to send an email, but you actually have a real-time message over our platform. And that's what we've tried to sort of look at. Global platforms like Uber, it was one example. Amazon's another one. But yeah, some really fantastic examples of which we can take inspiration from, but apply to our industry specifically. Yeah.
And again, please look for the other video where we're actually showing the interface doing that.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, and but then because of this innovation, Skift gave you a nomination for an award.
Not just a nomination, we won the award. Yeah, so we actually won Problem Solvers Award for our B2B solution that a lot of you are hopefully one day going to be using or maybe using already. But yeah, basically connecting operators to other distribution channels around the world. And a distribution channel can be one of you travel agents, but it also can be, we're working with Flight Centre as a group in Australia, as well as many other distribution channels out there.
Let's talk about some of those innovations. Let's start with live availability and real-time pricing.
Yeah, so I think with this industry in the past, you've had brochures, like say, and pricing changes or things do, add-ons or whatever it is. And so we pull in live feeds from the operators now, which are all up to date. You have the pricing right, and so you know what it's going to cost you. Yeah.
Instant bookability then is the offshoot of that.
That's exactly right. So we all love putting our credit card in and knowing it's confirmed, and that's what didn't exist before we pioneered that. Yeah.
And we looked at in the other video the powerful search. Let's talk about how you must be proud of it.
The search? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 50,000 different trips in the platform. How do you find that? And so providing a powerful search that's easy to get there, filters, all that stuff, it's a big data challenge in the background. So, yeah.
So not only do you have a lot of them, but you have a lot of data within each one of the suppliers. And in terms of instant messaging, I know the travel advisors are always wanting to get their answers to their questions. You grade the suppliers so that they can see this one's going to get back to me right away, and this one maybe not so much.
Exactly, yeah. So we track their response times, so you can actually see. We also have what we call our Traveler's Choice Awards for operators, where we see, are they a platinum supplier, are they gold, and that helps our agents who are new to this industry understand who's actually really strong in this area and who do we give a lot of, a stamp of approval, so to speak. Yeah.
And you've seamlessly added travel insurance.
Yes, so COVID obviously was a big one. Having that insurance was super important. And now, with a click of a button, you or your customers can add travel insurance, and it protects you for everything. Yeah.
So now let's talk about you're introducing Channel Manager. Tell us what it is and why it's important.
Yeah, so this is really important from the point of view that we know tour operators work with other channels. TourRadar is not the only one they sell through. Travel agents here are not the only ones. Travel advisors are not the only ones they sell through. Operators want more business, and if we want to grow the whole pie of this industry, they need to be able to sell through new channels. It's just not possible until now, and so the Channel Manager we've released allows any agent or any advisor to sell one of the tour operators' products, earn a commission for that. Some operators want to incentivize advisors if they start selling a lot of their product. If they do that, they can up the commission. So they can actually say, look, you get an extra 2 percentage points or 5 percentage points. And so that flexibility in those commercial arrangements has not really been possible. It's all been manual and, sending checks and whatever else. It's all automated with us now.
In fact, spoiler alert, we show this in the other video where we show you can negotiate your commission.
Fantastic. Very good. So, yeah, hopefully you see it for yourself. Yeah.
Now you've got a partnership. I mean, education is important. If a travel advisor is working this and they want to learn how to work your platform better, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, we have what we call our magazine, Days to Come, where there's a lot of articles about travel generally, but sustainability is a big one that we're definitely trying to highlight the benefits of our style of travel. I think we look at different travel styles out there and we say, look, organized adventures, it's a very local experience. It's less, the footprint that you have from those trips can be less than other styles of travel. And I think it's education from our side, from the operators as well. What have they done and built into their itinerary that makes the customers maybe feel a little bit better about the trip they're taking, or the social impact that they're providing to those local communities? So a lot of the great thing about our style of travel, the money you spend in that local community in this village in the middle of nowhere is probably going to stay there and actually help that community rather than actually leave and get taken away.
So at one point you brought up to our attention the Love Boat moment. Yeah. And I'm one of the ones who stood up when you said, who knew this theme song? And so you talked about it, and let's apply that to the use of TourRadar.
So my point was, cruising actually had an amazing inflection point, I think, in the 70s and 80s because of the Love Boat. And just the popularity and pop culture is a big thing, even today in many cases. And so I guess my challenge to the industry was we're still considered a niche. Multi-day travel, multi-day tours, organized adventures are a niche in general. How do we prevent it from being a niche in the future, but actually make it a more mainstream way of travel? And that was my challenge, just to say, is it that we want to create a Netflix documentary, or is it, do we combine as an industry, do something that has this inflection point for our industry as well?
So my solution to your challenge was that you would use film tourism as a way to access the TourRadar product list.
Exactly. I think pop culture, whether it's film, could be, TV series, that type of thing, those are the moments that people are latching onto. We're seeing Instagram, we're seeing Game of Thrones, certain places, whatever, Eat, Pray, Love, whatever it is, that's what I guess has created that demand. And I guess how do we not manufacture it, but how do we actually help drive people to those destinations, and not just to Paris, not just to the ones that are just always busy, but something that's a little bit off the beaten path. And I think, yes, absolutely, it's how do we do that to go see that thing that they want to experience, but then go for another 4 or 5 days around an area and see something else.
I think that's how you use TourRadar. So if you have a client that is in love with a certain something that's a film touristic adventure, use the tool to find all the facets that they need.
Absolutely, yep.
Now, you said at the end, and this is sort of your wrap-up, and maybe this is your message to our 126,000 travel advisors who are watching. You said, together we have the power not only to shape the next era of travel, but to turn organized adventures from a niche that we cherished into a global movement embraced by all travelers.
Yep.
So please explain that, and that's a good summary for this whole thing.
I guess you got to have big, hairy, audacious goals, as one of the terms is, and that's our vision. So mine personally, but also for TourRadar, is how do we really go mainstream with this? Like, it's the pandemic. There's a lot of tailwind of people want to be more active. They want to be more connected. We have a loneliness crisis. We've got a lot of mental health challenges. Travel and adventure is actually a really, really amazing solution for that. And so how do we get people to understand that, to take that going, yeah, this is actually a valid way to help me be a better person. And yesterday, actually on stage, we had the Nike former CMO, and he actually said, we're in the business of human potential. That's a big one. Like, to think of that, we're actually trying to help people be their better self, or they come back and be a more rounded human being. So that's what I'm trying to get to, is actually there is a big vision there. We want to go for it. If you don't actually set your sights high, you never get to where you want to get to anyway. So, yeah.
So use TourRadar for that bigger vision of self-actualization. And any client that you have named Maslow will understand that. Anyway, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you, Alan. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.